The following is a presentation of The Day.
The Friday night lights are on over Canamella Field in New London, Connecticut, and New London High School Whalers are ready to take on their rivals, the Fitch Falcons, and it will be live on game day. Casey O'Neill along with Mike Demoro, and this is a Thanksgiving Day game for many of us, but now it is a early Week 3 matchup between a very young and talented New London squad and a very veteran and talented Fitch squad in an early season test for both teams.
Yeah, very interesting game. Because, the first week, Fitch scored 13. So did New London. Fitch gave up 7. New London gave up 6.
So advantage New London.
I would say we're fairly even here.
Very impressed. Very impressed. The band is here. The cheerleading squad for New London. The numbers in general. The New London roster is huge. The cheerleading squad is big. The band is in effect. Things are looking up here under Johnny Burns, coach at New London. And, of course, over on the other side of things, the Fitch Falcons, Coach Mike Ellis. Game day, of course, is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all your dental needs. Your smile is our top priority. 177 Boston Post Road in Waterford. Visit us at waterforddentalhealth.com. New London won the toss, elected to defer, and they will have the ball in the second half. They will kick off going right to left in the beautiful, beautiful uniforms. Onside kick by Dennett, and it goes out of bounds, and it'll be a flag. It'll be Fitch ball, but New London had a chance there, Mike, on the opening possession. They went onside kick. It was rolling loose, but it went out of bounds, and Fitch will have it in great field position at midfield.
Well, they did that last week too, Case, and I found out that Moose just kind of missed the ball. That was not part of the plan. It's like, why are they? So they had just scored to go up to 7-6, and I went up to Johnny and I went, "Why are you doing that?" And he missed the ball.
I don't think he missed the ball that time. I think that was a planned play.
Okay.
I do. I think that was planned, mostly by the angle with which he kicked it. But Fitch will come out, first possession, in the white uniforms. And first thing we're going to find out is who's under center. And it looks like it will be the sophomore Ben Perry under center. Perry on a quarterback keeper on first down. Not much there. A gain of about a yard. The middle of the New London line, young. And that time they were led by Joshua Blanding. The sophomore came up with a tackle. Now, Perry, Mike, is starting. We thought we might see Sean Beebe, who was supposed to be the starter, the senior. He's been nicked up and injured, so he might get some time tonight. We saw him throwing on the field before the game, but it is Perry that gets the start. Of course, New London anchored by 2 fabulous cornerbacks, and we'll talk a little bit about all 3 of their big corners. Fitch, of course, going to like to run the ball. Here's an early throw, and it's broken up. They went towards Dennett. They wanted to find Eli Shelton, and Dennett was right there. And you know about Moose. Herbie Bonneau is also a back. Leo Griffin-Hill. New London loaded with really good corners.
Yes, and Eli Shelton, Case, if you want to learn more about him, you just go on to ontotheday.com. A wonderful video on him this week.
Defended by Mustafa Dennett, who you can also see a fabulous feature on. There's the 2 game day. It was nice of them to do that. The 2 game day features right there on that play. Quarterback keeper, nothing there, and ripped to the ground by Jefferson Bernardo is the quarterback, Perry. And that New London defense flying to the ball, early penetration, and then the Falcons faced with 4th and a long 6, just at the 43-yard line. I think Fitch will probably punt here on its first series.
Bernardo, a sophomore, Case, that'll be a theme here tonight. New London, young up front and pretty talented.
And big. For young sophomores, Johnny Burns likes what's in the cupboard here at New London. The punt is by Perry, and it bounces inside and is going to roll into the end zone for a touchback as Jonathan Mercado let it go, and it went into the end zone. New London will have its first possession, 1st and 10 from its own 20. A rock-solid defensive start for the Whalers.
You're going to look for number 2 here, Josiah Williams. He got the bulk of the work last week. Not a prolific week, I would say, for their offense. So they're going to want to look to do a little bit more.
Yep, so they're going to be led by senior quarterback Roddy Pratz along with Josiah Williams, who is the lone back in the backfield. Trip receivers for the Whalers on 1st and 10. Fitch showing pressure from the middle linebacker. Handoff off tackle to Williams, and nothing there. Fitch, the entirety of the Fitch line. Gianni Drab first on the spot, number 64. That's a name familiar to Fitch fans. Drab. I wonder if he's in shape.
Well, his dad, Greg, one of the great, played here at Fitch, has his own training facility, Advantage Personal Training.
And the sophomore, Gianni Drab, with a tackle on 1st down, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Pratt's under center. Motion man comes across. Handoff. And cutting up and inside, not much there, is Mercado. And it's going to be 3rd and long, as Mercado had a little bit of a gap, but it was closed pretty quickly. And both teams not seeing a lot of success in between the tackles here to start.
I will say one thing for the Whalers last week. Case, very few penalties. As a matter of fact, aside from the 15-yarder that they got for being late onto the field to begin the game, I can't remember any.
3rd and 10. Griffin Hill goes out wide right. Bonneau is on the near side, and from the shotgun, Pratz. He'll throw, pressured, steps up, lets it fly, has a man caught at midfield. Still on his feet. In the open field is Griffin Hill. Griffin Hill cuts it out to the 30. Inside the 20. And down inside the 20 at the 15. Big play from Leo Griffin Hill on a pass from Pratz.
That is 64 yards, Case.
Biggest play of the season for New London. And I'll give Pratz lots of credit because there was pressure coming off the edge. Fitch sent a blitz. He stepped into it and hit last week's punting hero, Leo Griffin Hill, in stride.
Sean Porter barely missed that sack.
So 1st and 10, New London inside the 20. They're in the red zone. Toss and nothing there. Ball's loose on the turf, and New London will recover it, but blowing up the play was Drab, alongside of Ty Ambrose, and a big loss on 1st down for the Whalers. It's going to bring up 2nd and maybe 17. Even more than that, 2nd and 20. So a 10-yard loss on 1st down.
And that is either, I couldn't tell if that was 5 or 6, but either Mercado, that was Griffin Hill who came limping off the field, Case. And if they lose him, well, not only do they lose a pretty good receiver, but their punter, who averaged 43 yards a punt last week.
He's down on the bench getting water, and he's upright, so I think he's probably okay.
Yes, you're right. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
No. Okay, there is somebody down on the side. See where number 48 is standing? Right. See there is someone down.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Mercado. Jonathan Mercado is being attended to on the sideline. We have a timeout.
That is okay.
We have a timeout in the action. It is going to be 2nd and 19 with 8 minutes remaining here in the first period. So, because we have a timeout, it's time to talk a little bit about CRAC. CRAC is bringing the light to mental health through opening doors and opening minds. You should go and learn more at cracct.com. That's SERACCT.com. Thank you, CRAC. Also, while we have a moment, we're just going to mention that we'll be talking more throughout the broadcast about the Holiday Classic, because the Day and Game Day are proud to present the first of what I hope to be many Holiday Classics, December 20th at Mohegan Sun Arena. The boys' basketball doubleheader will feature Ledgerd and new coach DJ Exum against two-time defending state champion Waterford at 6. And then the perennial power, the best team in the state over the last few years, East Catholic, against Bristol Central, and the player of the year, UConn recruit Donovan Klingen. That's at 8 o'clock. Ticket information will be coming up later this fall, but that's a very exciting doubleheader, the Day Holiday Classic.
Some coaches across the state a little peeved at us, Case, for not including them.
I love it. Play better. 2nd down, Pratz, plenty of time. Now he's pressured, rolls, and he's going to be dragged down eventually. Two men. It was Drab getting there first, and then coming in after that was Shelton, and another big loss. So after the big play that got them in the red zone, New London is now facing third and like 35. And Pratt's had good time, Mikey, so good coverage in the secondary by Fitch.
He did. He had way more time there than he did when he hit Griffin Hill.
So 3rd and 30. Ball is at the 35-yard line. What do you got for a 3rd and 30 play, Mike? I say screen. Isn't that the quintessential 3rd and 30 play?
Well, I would say, Case, you throw it up and you hope to get a pass interference, probably.
Williams in the backfield. Pratt will operate from the shotgun. Straight drop, lots of pressure in the flat. Pass is caught and brought down immediately is Herbie Bonneau, and it'll bring up 4th down. And New London's kind of in no man's land. I mean, you're not going to punt from the 30-yard line. So even though it's 4th and a lot, I think you're probably going to see them go for it on 4th down. And this would be the time where you might try to heave it up in the air and see if you can't get a penalty.
I would punt and try to play field position.
At the 30-yard line, how much advantage are you going to get? You going to get 10 yards?
29 yards if I do it right.
That's interesting, Mike. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't know that I would do that. It's a daring gambit, Mike. A gambit. Instead, 4th down, lots of pressure. Pratt stepping up, rolls, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, heads to the outside, and he's not going to break the tackle outside of Perry, who brings him down well short of a 1st down. Fitch holds and turn it over on downs, and it'll become the Falcons' ball at about, looks like the 24-yard line.
So Fitch survives getting hit in the mouth with a 64-yard gain.
They do, and we'll see what they come up with on their second offensive series. You know that Fitch wants to pound the ball, pound the ball, pound the ball. Let's see if they continue to do that or if they explore the outside here with their second possession.
I guess based on the way Perry threw that first pass, New London may not be too concerned with that and can devote more attention to the run.
Fullback dive, ball's loose, and out on a pitch man it goes instead. And that ball was not loose. In fact, it was pitched to Thomas Williams. Now that is the broadcaster's nightmare that is Fitch. They had the ball in the fullback's gut, pulled it out, and it looked like, I thought the fullback got hit and the ball got popped loose. No, it was just a pitch.
Well, that and we're also about 500 feet away up here too. So
I'm not going to make any excuses as I put my glasses on. I'm not going to make any excuses. It was a good game though on 1st down. 2nd and 4. Falcons will have it at the 33-yard line. In motion, Williams. This time the fullback dive does happen for a 1st down. Ball is on the turf. That was Nas Matthews that had the carry and coughed it up. And the ball recovered at the 45-yard line by the Falcons. It'll be a 1st down, and Matthews has to come off the field.
So what you're saying, Casey, is last time you were just seeing into the future.
You know, Peter, I'm glad you said it because to say I'm a visionary is clearly the case. I saw into the future, and I didn't need a DeLorean to do it. So we have a injured player on the field with 5 minutes remaining here in period number 1. No score. Both teams with one failed possession and each with a 1st down. And Fitch now will have it here after this injury timeout. It'll be 1st and 10. Casey O'Neill along with Mike DeMoro as we are at beautiful Canamela Field Friday Night Lights. And it's an interesting slate this week, Mike, in the ECC. Some games, this is, I think, the premier game, but another game of interest tomorrow over at Ledyard in the morning. The 2-0 upstart Colonels playing host to the aerial assault that is the Waterford Lancers under new coach Seth Nolda. So I think that's going to be a good one.
I tell you, I understand that, Ledyard hasn't played the iron yet, but very impressed with them last week. Their size and their speed. And again, I know I said this a lot last week, and I'm going to say it again. I don't think too many teams in Class S have what they have.
I agree with you 100% on that. Now, I'm going to say this based only on scores. The two worst teams in the ECC are Griswold and Bacon Academy. That's who Ledyard has beaten. Waterford had to play Killingly. That's a much bigger deal.
Right.
Wyndham, but Killingly and Wyndham is a whole step above Griswold and Bacon. So I'm not suggesting that you can't lie. The size is there. I mean, James Green's a playmaker. Outlaw's a playmaker. That Ledyard team's good, and I agree with you. They're going to be a menace in Class S. I'm just very curious to see when they step up size-wise to a team that's not as quite as overmatched. I can't wait to see, do they roll Waterford.
Fair point. Fair point.
First down. In motion, Williams. Quarterback keeper. And put to the ground is Perry after a gain of 3.
He's shifty.
Yes, he is. He's a little slippery out there and has not come down easily, which also makes him strong because there's been some guys hanging on him and he hasn't gone down easily. So shifty and strong, which you need to be if you're going to be the option quarterback at Fitch.
And, as a sophomore, you would assume he'll just keep getting better.
Stronger, absolutely. There's no reason to think he won't grow some. And that's both of these teams, like you said, sophomore is going to be something you hear an awful lot. Fullback dive on second down is good for about 3. That carry was by Greg Santora, and he was brought down by Joshua Blanding. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 3. New London trying to hold that middle of the line, which Fitch is a boxer. It's body blow, body blow, body blow, body blow. Then they'll take their shot. Tough to take shots down the field against New London. The cornerbacks are very talented, but Fitch has got some good receivers. Thomas Williams, Calvin Kilgore. So we'll see if they take a shot. 3rd and 4. New London showing pressure. Perry, handoff. And it's going to be right at the stick. The handoff was to Santoro, and it's right at the marker. And I think based on the spot, they're going to mark him about half a yard shy. And that's going to bring up 4th and maybe half a yard.
You made a good point, I think, before we went on the air, Case, about how the strength in New London's defense is in the secondary. And those guys may not necessarily figure into this as much as they want, because Fitch doesn't throw it very much.
No, they're going to be pounding it into a bunch of sophomores, which is really the strength of Fitch. 4th down, and the ball carried by Santora, and it's a first down as he crosses the 40. Fitch will have a new set of downs. And, yeah, I mean, Fitch is going to be testing that front 7 of New London. New London's going to have to bring a safety up, and, pretty much you're going to see Bonneau and Dennett single coverage on whoever. New London might consider getting rid of one of its cornerbacks and bringing an extra linebacker into the game.
I think you're going to see that.
First down, toss to Williams. Good job, spin and brought down very, very quickly. Nice tackle out on the edge was made by Trayvon Mitchell. So it'll be 2nd and 8. But that was a nice job by Thomas Williams because that pitch was behind him, and he did a nice job even handling it.
That's the second time that the pitch hasn't been in the right place. Dare I say, Case, a rapidly moving first quarter?
Well, we're down under 2 minutes, minute 45. Both teams keeping the ball on the ground right now. Quarterback keeper and fighting for every yard is Perry, and I'll tell you, he is tough. That tackle made by Marvel Fleagen.
Excellent.
It's hard to say Marvel Fleagen without wanting to
do the. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I thought that's where we were going. There.
We were, but I held off because there's so much time left, Mike.
Yes. We do hope to have a treat for the listeners or for everybody later, but Fitch has to cooperate.
That's correct. 3rd and a long 5. Falcons under a minute remaining now. Rolling, and quarterback keeper, first down, nicely done by Perry, and he's wrestled out of bounds by Herbie Bonneau, but that'll move the chains with 47 seconds remaining in the first period. First down, Falcons.
The left side of Fitch's offensive line right there. Case textbook.
Well, if you've noticed, Fitch has gone almost exclusively left. They haven't gone right yet. Pretty much it's been off tackle left. Even the dives have been to the left side. The few times they've gone right have not been as successful. And I have to tell you, after this play, I want to talk a little bit about the size of the Fitch roster. Perry under center, Williams in motion, toss left to Williams, cuts it back inside, big hole, breaks a tackle, inside and down to the 10-yard line. Nice run by Thomas Williams. That'll move the chains, and it'll be 1st and 10 just outside of the 10. Fitch is not a big roster. I'm looking over at their sidelines, and there's maybe 30 kids total. You look at New London sideline, there might be 50. That's a surprise to me. Williams in motion again. Another toss left to Williams, being pursued and tripped up and brought down by Leo Griffin Hill after a gain of 4. But the Falcons seem very content running that same play. So clearly they see something on that side. Now, heading into the ball game for New London is Johnny Burns III. Hard to believe. Johnny
Burns, his son, Fitch assistant coach Calvin McCoy, Trey, his son's playing, Greg Drab, his son, Gianni's playing, and we're old. Case.
There's a lot of children of former players here. We're at the end of quarter number 1. No score, Fitch New London. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
At The Day, our journalists are in your community, talking with business owners, attending town meetings, analyzing data, talking to government leaders, reporting on the issues that matter most to you. Since 1881, we have been serving our community and will continue to do so 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Never miss a day of news. Enjoy convenient home delivery right to your doorstep, 7 days a week. Subscribe at theday.com/membership.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. No score at the end of 1. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. Our entire team dedicated to providing you the personalized, gentle care that you deserve. At Waterford Dental Health, your smile is their top priority. Visit them at waterforddentalhealth.com. And in case you're driving by, 177 Boston Post Road in Waterford.
So, Case, one thing you and I like to do is pointing out quirky human behavior.
Yes.
So, why are people trying to start conversations with us right now when we are, 1, on the air, and 2, have these things on our ears?
It is one of the great questions, and I will talk to after this play as Fitch lines up 2nd and 7 from the 8-yard line, the best field position they've had all day. Handoff up the gut and cutting it, bouncing it back outside is Greg Santora, and he'll be down close to a first down. They can get a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2, ball inside the 5. I have found, Mike, that putting on headphones and talking, going all the way back to my days in radio, is an absolute magnet for people to stand in front of you. There's nothing better than being at a table on the floor of a basketball game, people standing directly in front of you and talking to you. I'm like, do you think this is a fashion statement, these headphones that I have on? The microphone?
It's not a Christian mingle,
It's
as AJ would say.
Oh, what a fun time they had yesterday. 3rd and 2. And a beautiful job by the interior of the New London line. That was Traviant Mitchell and Schneider Sanat getting to Perry for a loss. Fitch will go for it. It'll be 4th and 3. Ball's back to the 5-yard line. but that's the first time we've seen penetration from the interior of the New London line, and they sent a linebacker on a gap blitz.
I think they're going to kick.
Really? 4th and 3 from the 5, and they're going to kick.
Cabuso is in there. Number 11, the kicker, yes.
Charles Cabuso is lining it up. The ball will be marked just outside the 10-yard line, so it'll be a 21-yard field goal. The holder is the quarterback, Beebe, so that's always a possibility. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is up, and it is no good. They're signaling wide left, so Cabuso hooked it a little bit, and the Falcons with their best opportunity, and it goes for naught. Still scoreless here at Canamela Field.
So, Case, I'm very disappointed because I thought one of the kids on the field kicking before the game was Aiden Greaves, and I thought that was going to be him, which would lead, of course, to.
Well, I mean, he's the brother of Seamus. He's Aiden Greaves. His family's from the Highlands. He'd kick the ball to Glasgow. I do love the Greaves family, and I wonder if they're ever going to come up to me and go, you know, we hate that. I hope
Sorry,
not.
I just that gets me every time.
As long as it makes you laugh. If I can get a chuckle out of Peter Wappy, then my night's really complete. That's the gold standard. First down, Whalers. Pratt's quarterback keeper, and he is stuffed, and that's Shelton. Eli Shelton with penetration, and he gets him for a 4-yard loss. So outside of that one long pass, it's been nothing there.
Well, if I was laughing, Casey, it was because I was imagining the Greaves family coming up to you and saying, actually, Casey, we're Icelandic.
I thought about that too. We're actually Portuguese. We never met Grandpa Greaves. Icelandic. I don't know how to do an Icelandic accent, Peter. Now wait a minute. Iceland is the nice one, right? Isn't it Greenland the one that's freezing and cold? Isn't Iceland the nicer of the two?
Iceland's actually nice.
Right,
Yes.
and Greenland is actually not green at all. It's a big frozen wasteland. Isn't that the
Yes.
case? Yeah. So get your names right. 2nd and 15. Ball at the 15. Pratt's will be under center this time. New London struggling to move the ball offensively, and I think that was a broken play. Pratt's kept it himself, and nothing there. I think that time there was a mishandling of the exchange from center. But again, outside of the one long pass play, New London has been going consecutively backwards.
Yes, if DraftKings were one of our sponsors, Case, they'd come on right now and talk about ways you could bet the under here.
Not yet, but I have a feeling in mine and Peter's and your child's lifetime, we might see high school players with individual ads on their uniforms as well as DraftKings sponsorships. 3rd down, lots of pressure. Pratt steps up, throws it deep, and overthrows his intended target, Leo Griffin-Hill. And in fairness, Pratt's was being pressured again. In his face that time was again Gianni Drab, who is hobbling off the field. Drab is significantly favoring his leg, and it goes down on the Fitch sideline, so they'll attend to him. But 4th down gives New London an opportunity to trot out one of its big weapons. Now, interesting, Leo Griffin-Hill that time was running the deep pattern and now has to go all the way back because he's going to punt it. So that's probably the longest a punter has ever had to go from the end of one play back behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, he averaged 43 yards a punt last week, and he really flipped field position.
The dangerous Calvin Kilgore stands back at his own 45-yard line for Fitch. The snap is good, no pressure. High punt, bouncing, and Kilgore steps up to take it on the run, breaks a tackle, cuts to the sideline, and out of bounds at about the 26-yard line, and he'll mark him inside the 25 now. So nice return by Calvin Kilgore coming up to get it on the punt by Griffin-Hill, and again, great field position for the Falcons.
That looked awfully close to tacking on 15, too.
Right on that sideline is always such a dangerous place because, you're taught to fly to the ball and play to the whistle, but it very easily can result in a 15-yard penalty, but it'll be 1st and 10 for the Falcons as they have the ball at the 23-yard line. So under center will be Perry. In motion, Williams. Handoff up the middle, ball loose, and it looks like the Whalers they're saying they've fallen on it, and they did. So the handoff from Perry never materialized. Whalers fall on it, and a big turnover by the Falcons, and New London will take over 1st and 10 from their own 22.
Boy, if you're Mike Ellis right now, you are the darns are flowing on that sideline. How many times you get the ball at the plus 23 and do nothing with it?
All right, I'm going to see if Peter Wappy can answer this question. What's the key? What does Fitch need to do to turn it around? They just have to do what? Play with?
Some more pizzazz.
That's right, Peter Wappy. Play with some pizzazz, then that's what it'll take here. New London, 1st down. Going from the eye this time. Delayed handoff. Outside goes Mercado. Mercado showing some speed to the marker and ridden out of bounds, perhaps right at the stick. It'll be 2nd and maybe half a yard. And so there was a little delay and trap to the opposite side. So nice job by New London, kind of shifting the momentum and going off tackle to the left. And I think that was a step in the right direction after going backwards on the previous plays.
That's a good call by Coach Burns and his staff, realizing you're not getting much up the middle.
They're in the eye too, which is something they hadn't been in yet. So they're in a deep eye. Fullbacks up tight. And nothing there on the quarterback keeper for Pratt's. Falcons doing a great job getting penetration. That time, Falcons' penetration was by Ty Ambrose. And Ambrose, the senior, has spent a lot of time in the backfield here in the early going. Fitch, very comfortable sending its linebackers. So far, New London, other than the deep shot, has not shown a real propensity to throw the football.
I wonder if you'll start to see some, draws, screens, misdirections.
There's a seam route to be had for if there's a tight end or a player from a slot. There's a seam route to be had. 3rd down and 3. Pratt's going to throw. Steps up, pressured, and dropped at the 20-yard line. Shelton was the first to get him. Also in was Sean Porter. So Porter and Shelton, who have been pressuring Pratt's all afternoon, evening, got to him that time, and it'll be 4th down. Right now, the New London line just not able to hold off the Falcon pressure. Too much talent up front for Fitch.
Yeah, from both ends, Case. They've Porter, Shelton, untouched a lot of the game.
Griffin Hill will stand at his own 10, and we're going to get a timeout before the flag by New London. They didn't like the personnel they had on the field, and while we have this timeout, it's brought to you by CRAC, bringing the light to mental health through opening doors and opening minds. Learn more at cracct.com.
I was here last week for the game. Really good energy here. People into it. Tonight, I feel like it's just dead.
It is. I'm a little surprised and, dare I say, disappointed. It's a perfect evening, and I was talking earlier. What an unbelievable complex New London has created. The turfed practice field that's lit. The football field is turfed and lit. The baseball and softball fields in the distance, absolutely gorgeous. And the new bleachers. I mean, where would you want to be on a Friday night other than here at Canamela Field against the rivals? My mom just texted and said it's still hard for her to think of this game not being on a cold Saturday or a cold Thursday rather in November. It's a Thanksgiving Day game, but this game should generate a bigger crowd and at least a little bit more energy. I'm a little surprised, but if the numbers up by the players and the cheerleaders and the band are any indication, better days are ahead here in Whalerville.
There were more people here last week. Hard to understand.
Griffin Hill with the punt. It's a low line drive punt and caught up top and heading to the sidelines and out of bounds goes Aiden Greaves. Hey, Aiden, tiptoeing on the sidelines. Icelandic, you ruined it for me forever, Peter Wappy. So, Fitch once again will have the ball in New London territory. which seems to be their trend of the last, I think, 4 possessions now have occurred in the Whaler side of things. We're 6.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. No score. Both teams scoring a total of 13 points on the year. So, not exactly high-octane offenses. And New London does get the ball to start the second half. Sophomore quarterback Ben Perry under center for the Falcons. Toss right, it goes to Malachi Maddox, and Maddox is tripped up by Josiah Williams and will get a flag on the play. That comes in the area of holding, and it is, in fact, holding against Fitch, and that'll back them up and make it second and long.
We're looking forward to seeing him wrestling this year.
Malachi Maddox. I would very much. I can't wait. I pray that we get to do the ECC wrestling finals again. That is one of my absolute favorite days. Love the ECC wrestling.
With the what do you call CJ? Seretti, the
eye candy game day.
Game day, yep.
Absolutely, and a great job by CJ. Mustafa Mustinet's respect and love for CJ comes through in that, And CJ, though the Sadie family is a longtime New London family, CJ's not a New London kid. He didn't go to high school in New London. He's not from here. But he's devoted so much time to youth wrestling, and he's made an impact on so many kids in New London, and clearly Moose is one of them. Second down, Perry on the keep. Looked like a missed exchange as well, and he'll be ridden down for no gain, so it'll stay second down and 20, ball just on the Fitch side of midfield.
CJ's significant other, Jessica, is my massage therapist. Case, the hands of God, I call her.
CJ, who has taught me more about wrestling in 2 years than anyone had in the previous 10. What I loved is when he did not give the new bag without the straight A's, because that was the deal they made, and that's just great story all the way around. Perry to throw in the flat, incomplete on the ground, on the turf at the midfield. It was thrown short of Williams, and that's going to bring up third and long for the Falcons. The key to beating Fitch has always been get them into passing situations. Right? Don't let it be third and short. Third and 20. This is a chance for New London to dial up some pressure and see if they can turn the field position over.
I'm impressed with how big and strong Fitch is up front, Case, but they've got to be able to move the ball through the air better than this.
Fullback dive straight up the middle and nothing there. Great job out on the edge, New London. That's number 78, Jefferson Bernardo, the big sophomore, in on the tackle. And that's going to bring up 4th and 20 at midfield, and the Falcons will surely punt. So back deep for New London are Griffin Hill and Mercado. Perry will punt from his own 40. And he gets the punt off. Spinning kick will bounce at the New London 20 and then take a slight Falcon bounce before it dies at the 18. So first down, Whalers at their own 18-yard line. 4.5 minutes remaining in a scoreless first half.
All right, Case. I don't believe I'm going to say what I'm going to say right now, but I'm going to say it anyway. I actually liked New London's all black uniforms last week better than these, and I love the green and gold. I've rendered you speechless.
No, I'm just deciding in what manner do I want to remove your tongue.
How sarcastic you want to be?
How do I want to remove your tongue from your mouth right now? Which manner do I want to do that? First down, Pratt's from the shotgun. Delayed handoff goes to Williams. Oh, cuts on a dime, cuts it back inside, lowers the shoulder before he's brought down by Maddox. But nifty and shifty is Josiah Williams, and that'll be a gain of 7 on first down. So, Mike, that's okay. The black uniforms are very modern, they're very hip, they're very cool, they're very in with what the kids like. They look awesome, they do. But the green and gold are iconic. And so new and hip is cool, and it's okay to like them. but these are iconic. I'll remind you when the Yankees ditched the pinstripes one day
They start wearing purple.
in favor of the purple flame, and you'll remember how you feel about this moment. 2nd and 3. Williams stands next to Prats in the backfield. Prats to throw. Plenty of time. Pressured. Throws off his back foot in the air and overthrows 2 men. He had both Griffin Hill and Rodia Perry. Pedro was in the vicinity, but neither of them came down with a football, and I think Pedro is blaming himself because he could have gone after it. I think he deferred to Griffin Hill.
I tell you what, Roddy Pratt's going to need some Advil after this game. He is getting clobbered.
Nice bath with Epsom salts.
Epsom salt, yes.
Well, I like the lavender Epsom salts myself. Feel good, smell good, Mike.
Now, I did ask Phil Orby last week if they could come back to these this week, because I knew we'd be doing the game and we'd had no chance.
I couldn't see a thing.
Seeing the numbers.
I appreciate that, Mike. I really do. 3rd and short. Prats from the shotgun. Toss left to Williams. Williams heading to the sideline. Lowers his head. Has a first down and a little bit more brought down on the play by Sean Beebe. But it'll move the chains. First down Whalers as we're inside 3.5 minutes in the first half.
So you could see this on Peter's video that we did off the game last week. But in the final 30 seconds, Williams made 2 open field tackles inside the 5-yard line that saved the game. As good a plays as I've seen in a long time.
And you just didn't know who he was because you couldn't tell what number was on the uniform. But it was a huge opening win for New London. And I think defense, Johnny Burns, great defensive player when he was here, will be the staple of New London. First down, Prats to throw in the flat, has a man complete out to Herbie Bonneau, but not much there. Brought down very quickly by Cabuso and number 50, Ty Ambrose, out there as well. No gain on the play. So a long throw and catch, but no gain.
Bonneau with a big pick last week too in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I really like New London's corners with Herbie Bonneau and Moose Dennett and Griffin Hill. I think they can play with anybody. I'll be looking forward to the Waterford game because Waterford's going to put it up in the air a bunch of times. 2nd down. Prats. Pressure from Shelton. Out it goes. Complete. Again to Bonneau, and very short gain again, maybe 4, as the clock ticks down to 2 minutes here in the first half of our scoreless game, New London and Fitch.
There is nobody on this field having more fun than Shelton right now.
Yeah, on almost every play, Eli Shelton is running free and hitting the quarterback. So, and that's a kid, by the way, if the feature that Peter Wappy did was any indication, there's a kid that football is a very important part of his life. He is probably the most balanced as far as his life. When he's on the football field is probably the place where he's most at home. 3rd and 7. Prats from the shotgun. Deep down the sideline. Ball in the air. Has his man complete to Perry. Did he stay in bounds? No. Over the shoulder catch by Perry, but the officials on the far side said he was out of bounds. It'll bring up 4th and 7, and the Whalers will punt.
Fitch with all 3 timeouts.
I'd be less concerned. I mean, Fitch is not a team that's going to score in a minute and 10 seconds unless they break something. New London will go into a softer kind of prevent. I don't think the Falcons. What you might be able to see the Falcons do is get in position for a field goal attempt, though, because he does have a strong enough leg, so we'll see if they do that. Now, Greaves will be back deep, awaiting the punt of Griffin Hill, who stands at his own 22. Greaves back on his own 30. Snap is good, no pressure. Kick is a low-line drive that's going to bounce at the 40-yard line and go flat and touched, I believe, by Greaves, recovered by New London. Whether or not they say it touched Greaves, do the officials say it does or not? I didn't see the hanky come out. New London says yes.
There's also a flag on the play. Okay, there's a flag at the 46-yard line that the official threw while the punt just as the punt hit, which would you tend to think that would be on Fitch.
You would, and they're going to sort that out. But I thought the ball hit and skipped off of Greaves, which would have given New London the ball at the 35-yard line. The officials weren't close enough to be able to see it. It's a very, very close play. One minute remaining here in the half.
Based on how he threw it and where he threw it, it's got to be a hold or a block in the back on the kick, I would think.
So we will let the officials sort it out.
Kevin Moreland, the white hat.
And he will signal to us now. He's letting Coach Johnny Burns know what the call was. New London seems pleased by it. The question is whether or not it's at the end of the play, or whether whether it gives them a first down from instead. So let's see. And it does give New London a first down. Was it a personal foul?
It was a hold case, and I wonder if that's going to be 15 yards from the previous spot, which nullifies everything else that happened. Was it a fumble or not? I think that's what I have never seen that.
Well, he's saying first down New London, so which means that it wasn't after the possession. The hold was before the possession, which would be like defensive holding on a pass play.
Exactly.
Which automatic first down. So the result is with a minute left, first down New London, ball at the 42-yard line.
I'm guessing a New London player was going to cover the kick and just got held.
But yeah, before the ball hit the ground.
Yes.
Pratt's to throw, has time. Deep sideline pattern is overthrown, looking for a Bono. Another flag on the play. We'll see what this one is. So you had mentioned a lack of penalties and a quick-moving first half. Let's see what the penalty is. I don't think Bono is happy about this one.
It was on the opposite side of the field from him, though. Why is Kevin looking that way?
So we'll see what the penalty is. It's a legal man downfield against New London, so that'll back them up 5 yards and repeat first down.
So, Case, based on the fact that New London won the toss and deferred, and the offense is going nowhere anyway, I think I would just be content. I would be content to be scoreless and try to go make an adjustment and get the ball coming out.
I think that's absolutely fair. I'd still like to see them hit a seam route, which I think is wide open. There's no deep safety on the field for Fitch at all. Pratt's to throw, pressured by Shelton, has a man deep down the sideline looking for Perry. He goes up and gets it at the 28-yard line, and incomplete. It went to the turf. What an effort. That was Leo Griffin Hill. Check it. Griffin Hill had it, went to the ground, and couldn't hold on to it. Incomplete.
I think your point is very well made, though, Case. I think if Johnny Burns lined up someone who was quick at the tight end spot, that's the middle's wide open.
Another play they can do is the wheel route. Same idea. They could send Josiah Williams straight up the middle on a fake and just have him run right up the middle of the field. Because, I mean, there's no, again, the safeties for Fitch are wide and split. There's nothing in the middle of the field. Second down. Pratt's, again, deep down the middle of the field. He throws, and it was almost intercepted by Beebe at the 40-yard line. Whalers receivers are open, but Beebe did a great job playing center field.
They've started to double Shelton on the outside, and he's still getting pressure, just not as fast. That has actually given Pratt's more time to throw.
And Pratt's can throw the football, and there's receivers running down the middle of the field. That time, though, there was 3 receivers all in the general area. That allows the center field play of Beebe to become much easier because he's defending 3 guys in the same space.
It does put a thought in your head for the second half, though.
Look at the safeties creeping up now, too, for the Falcons. That play is definitely going to be there. 3rd and 15 for New London. In motion. I think we're going to get a penalty. Yep, we are. Multiple penalties. Pratt's going to throw. This one's going to be for not anyway. And it's caught out at the 40-yard line by Bonneau, but I think that's going to come back. I think New London had an illegal shift, and that's what the call is.
I think they're going to get Perry. I'm kind of surprised they didn't blow that play dead, though.
It's not. I've learned because we've had it in back-to-back weeks, and I've seen it I saw it in the JV game yesterday at Bacon Academy. I saw it last week and this week. That is no longer a blow the whistle. For some reason, the play continues. It's not, and then the result in the JV game yesterday, the offense illegal shifted and then fumbled the football. The defense recovered it, and that was and the play stood. They declined the penalty.
Oh.
I always thought it was like an illegal procedure where the play was dead immediately. New London is going to call a timeout with 13 seconds remaining in the first half, and this timeout, we should let you know, is brought to you by CRAC, bringing the light to mental health. They're opening doors and opening minds. Learn more at CRACCT.com. That's SERACCT.com. No score in New London Fitch. Casey O'Neill along with Mike DeMauro. And if you're just joining us, the Thanksgiving rivals that are New London and Fitch are struggling offensively. Fitch struggling to do it on the ground. New London struggling to do it in the air. Both teams having much more success defensively. Fitch pressuring New London, and New London holding up the middle of their line. Fitch has had numerous cracks down inside New London territory. New London has ventured once deep into Fitch territory. A missed field goal by the Falcons, and no score with 13 seconds remaining.
While we have a minute, we should send a little shout out to our guy, the sports doctor, not feeling so hot. So Keith, get back here soon.
Sports doctor, I miss you. I know that this is all part of our big master scheme to be like halfway through the season before he and I eventually reunite in afternoon drama fashion. We're going to run across a beach and hug each other in slow motion. If that's a sight you want to see. Third down. Pratt's pressured out to the sideline. Pass is complete. Out it goes to Griffin Hill, shy of the first down, and that'll take the clock to halftime, 2-1-0. Halftime action at Canamella Field. We're scoreless between New London and Fitch. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
When football returned to Canamella Field in New London last week, it was hard to miss New London senior captain Mustafa Dinette.
Let's go! Let's go!
He's outspoken. I tell him to shut up about at least twice a day. And he smirks and he smiles, but he does shut up when I tell him.
Sometimes I do talk too much, and I do need to shut up sometimes.
But he doesn't last long.
Let's go!
Boisterous personality, and he has the utmost belief and faith in his ability.
Dinette's brash confidence was on display in Friday's season opener, when he volunteered to cover Guilford's top receiver.
But before we even played, I knew what I was coming to do. Top 25 receiver, Division I commit CCSU, wasn't worried about. I wanted to show him what a real Division I looks like, and I showed it today.
You know, he's the first to say, I got it, and he believes it, and that's half the battle.
Dinette says he didn't have the easiest childhood.
Growing up, it's been a little rough. My brothers and my older brothers have always been in like trouble and stuff, like gang this, gang that, and just influence easy. And things been rough, you know. Lost my aunt that was really close to me, my nana that was really close with. And it's easy after tragedies like that, you know, to go and end up doing something dumb, or whether it's out of anger or sadness or whatever the case is. But, you know, I just happen to remain the same and stay me.
He credits mentors, like his youth wrestling coach, CJ Saddy, with keeping him on the right path.
I had people like Coach CJ. Shout out to that man right there. He's helped me out a lot.
They shared a story that illustrates their relationship.
We got custom-made bags for all the kids on the team. That was back when he was in 8th grade, and they were a big hit. Everybody loved them.
The backpack was the coolest thing out. Everyone wanted it. Everyone asked me where I got it. I really love that bag, and I happened to mess it up in the dryer.
Coach, my bag ripped. Can I get another bag? No, and he knows with me. Anything, we don't give anybody anything. Every one of those bags that the kids got, they earned through their work in the season. So I said, well, what's up? You know, so we decided that the deal was if you wanted a bag, straight A's?
So that whole school year, obviously I pushed for myself too because I'm just an all A+ student and that's what I love. But I also pushed for that back because that's what I was thinking about at the end of the year. Like, bro, this bad would be everything.
Next quarter or next semester came around and had all A's and a B+. Coach, come on, I had all A's and a B+. Can I get that bag? No.
So I was upset. I won't lie to you. I was really upset about it. I was like, dang, like.
Oh, but go, Coach, but I was in senior AP classes and only a junior. Doesn't matter. You got to have the straight A's.
At the end of the year, I finished with all A+, nothing less. Sent him that screenshot. He said, I will be there next week.
And now he just showed me again that it's still straight A's. And myself and then my coaching staff, they ended up really, really hooking him up.
So I come out, and he shows me the bag, and I'm amped and I'm hyped, and it has cool New London gear, and it has a nice little sweater that the New London Youth Committee gave to me as another gift. And then also, he said, look in the pocket. So I look in the pocket, and it was $100. So I'm like, wow, really, Coach? You sure?
You got to get up and you got to put in the work, and you can make excuses about the privileges somebody else have or the disadvantages that you have, or you can get to work and show up, have a good attitude like this guy does, and make it all happen.
It made me really happy, and it just showed like what hard work gets you in life.
After Friday's 13-6 victory, Danette's effort earned a shout-out from Coach Johnny Burns.
Let's give it up for the cap.
Someone, there just telling me that he's really proud of me meant a lot, and it was really cool, and it just made me really happy.
Way to go, boys! You know that.
If the Fitch Falcons are going to be successful this season, Elijah Shelton is going to be a big part of that success. Big not only because of his physical stature, but also for what he contributes to team chemistry. But it wasn't always that way.
Sophomore year, quits halfway through the year. Just can't quite sustain and can't make it.
Honestly, there's no excuse to why I quit. To me, it feels like I just let them down here.
Shelton says his complicated family situation got in the way.
What happened, my father, big part of my immaturity and what's been going on. He showed up to the game, and it threw me off mentally, and I walked away that game, and I just never found the courage to come back and face what I did to them on the field because they ended up losing that game.
He moved to East Lyme for his junior year, but returned to Fitch, moving in with his grandmother for his senior year.
The biggest difference is diversity, and here I felt at home. Over there, I didn't really fit in.
Leaves as a junior, comes back as a senior. And what has he done for us so far? He goes through, and when a situation goes haywire, he is the one that has the clear mind and makes the right decision and does the right action and tries to have other kids follow that action.
Being on the field clears my mind. Those 2 years not having it was a dark spot. Coming back, my mind's been clear, been able to focus on school, have good grades, focus at home, be good at home.
Since he's come back to us at Fitch, the thing that I've really noticed about him is the maturity. Some of the things that have happened this year in the passing league and then here in the season so far, if it were the Eli of his sophomore year, he'd have a lot of trouble handling these situations. What I've found so far this year is he's the one that's trying to stop the chaos. He's the one that's trying to stop our other guys from getting in trouble. He's the one that is doing whatever he can to make sure that guys stay here, they don't go off the beaten path, and they're here for the team.
It's not a lot of people are willing to speak up to certain people, and I will, because we need to stay together as a team. As Coach says all the time, together or nothing. As long as we're together, we'll get what we want. If we don't, then we won't get anything.
Hopefully these younger men and women can go through and see him, hey, listen, this is how you end up. This is where you need to be. We go through some rough patches, maybe when we're younger, but we've got to mature and we've got to get to this point.
I personally, it's been hard to see the growth in myself, but when others see it, especially Coach Ellis, when we've been through a lot and he's never really given up on me. It's hearing it come from him means a lot.
Toss right to Green. Green's on his feet. Green's to the outside. Green showing speed. Cuts it back inside. Disher forces him back to the inside. And finally, Green, finally about it. He's still on his feet, twisting and turning. What a determined run by James Green. This time, walking into the end zone is Ryan Outlow, untouched. 1st and 10. Dive again, Outlow, big hole over the middle, and finally brought down after a gain of about 16 yards. Toss, big play to the outside. 1st down the sidelines. Goes Jackson Holton, he crosses midfield. And it also takes away from the Friday night experience. There's a huge hole for Outlow, sprinting toward the end zone, cuts it inside, touchdown.
And is 35. The clock will run.
Toss to Green, heads to the outside, gets a block, cuts it inside, and he's gone. Touchdown by the playmaker, James Green. Young Chaz. Dive to Outlow, big hole, cuts to the outside, being chased out there by Disher, trying to get to the corner, dives for the end zone, waiting for the signal, touchdown, number 4. Outlow, there goes Green in motion, toss sweep to Green, crosses the 40, cuts it inside, shows his speed, breaks a tackle, still on his feet, down the sideline, and G-O-N-E, gone. James Green, the playmaker, touchdown Ledger. 1st down, Colonels, under 2 minutes remaining. In motion again, Green. Handoff again, Outlow, big hole, off tackle, Outlow to the outside, off to the races. Touchdown, Ryan Outlow. Have a day. Outlow, the junior, has now scored 5.
After a Week 1 bye, New London opened their season hosting Guilford Friday night. The Grizzlies scored first on a touchdown by quarterback Tyler Hilgert with 6:07 to go in the first, leading 6-0 after a bad snap on the extra point. New London countered with a touchdown by junior Jonathan Mercado, taking a 7-6 lead into the second quarter. In the second, Roderick Pratt connects with Josiah Williams in the flat, and Williams makes 1, 2, 3 defenders miss before being dragged down at 25. But the Whalers' drive would come up short of the end zone as time expired in the first half. In the third quarter, it's Pratt's over the middle to Rodea Perry, and then Williams takes the handoff and bounces outside to the end zone. Whalers lead 13-6. Hilgert would lead Guilford on one more drive in the final 3 minutes. But he suffered an injury with 25 seconds to go, and Nico Messina takes over for the final 2 snaps. On 4th and goal, Messina's pass is caught by Brady Hallahan just outside the end zone, sealing the 13-6 win for New London.
The music is playing, the crowd is filtering in, and the game is scoreless here at halftime at Canamela Field on the campus of New London High School. Casey O'Neill along with Mike DeMauro, all live on Game Day, live on theday.com. And, you know, I like saying on the campus of New London High School because for the first time in a really long time, it's not just a school, it's a campus. You know, Mike, we were talking about the lit practice field and the lit turf field and the bleachers and the baseball and the softball. They just debuted the new addition to the Magnet School, which means that there will be a new lobby and a new gymnasium, sort of the entranceway to the gymnasium will be new. Nice to see New London High School and the campus. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, and Case, I wasn't necessarily, I mean, of course we'd love having turf here, but the old setup with the bowl setting coming down the hill, iconic. And I think I'm going to hate to lose that. Things are a little bit more bit more flat here now. But from where we are up here, you look around. This is beautiful.
And it still has that same feel. But you know what? You know what the biggest thing about the hill is? You have to be good. You really do. 2-8 teams walking the hill that really don't matter. So you can still walk the hill now, but you got to be good to do it. And there's still a mechanism for them to walk the hill. But you're right. Sitting up here, the bleachers are better. There is one mistake they made. And none of them, the current administration, had anything to do with it. One mistake they made with this facility. You know what it is?
The speakers.
Well, the speakers are clearly very powerful. No, but we're sitting in it.
Not big enough?
They had one of the biggest press boxes in the thing,
yeah.
and they've gone to a 6-person press box.
Yeah.
You spent $8 quadrillion to put everything on here. This press box should be able to fit 40 people because, what, is media getting smaller? No, media's getting larger. It's not as many guys down on the sidelines writing their notes, but streaming and video is more prevalent. I mean, how many times have we gone and we've had the individual schools have had their own people, then larger groups of people? You could fit 30 people in a press box.
Well, in case you remember the night we did the Killingly Waterford game in the rain, and we were shoehorned in there that night with 2 radio stations and us, and this was December 2020. I mean, December 2019, and COVID was probably here by then. We just didn't know it.
It
that
was,
night.
and I don't want to say that the sports doctor sat in my lap, but it was pretty close. I mean, it was. We were certainly very, very tight. The first time, I mean, Peter will remember the first time we came to do a game here. They didn't have room for us because we decided to do the game late, and they had already filled it up with people. We ended up doing it from the bleachers, which I don't mind doing. But it can get pretty cold to do some of these games, or like that Waterford Killingly game, we wouldn't have been able to do it outside.
Yeah, in the rain. But no, to your point, exactly what we were talking about. Okay, so I just don't understand. Why would you want to start a conversation with us? Does it look like we want to have a conversation with you?
Well, he wanted to know if I found his wallet.
Yeah, well, that would be a no.
I know I have not. But the universal signal of tapping of the headphones and pointing somewhere else did not resonate, I don't think.
Anywho.
So Mike, your lack of interest in this next topic is disappointing and shocking, and yet warms my heart, because tonight, Friday, September 24th, the Yankees and the Red Sox are opening up a 3-game series that is likely to more dramatically impact the playoff chances of either team than any series they've had in over 20 years. They've never been this close to each other this late in the season, and I have to be honest, there's not an ounce of juice in this thing.
No, they've broken me this year. I can't watch it anymore. I just can't. I've seen so many 4-run leads evaporate in the 8th inning that I got nothing left.
Now, I can see, you're sandwiched by Red Sox fans, and your disappointment is like sweet, sweet nectar. But I'm not even getting as much happiness out of it as I normally do.
I got nothing.
You are an empty vessel right now.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to watch the other night, and they were playing Texas, and they were down by 2 runs in the 3rd inning. And Giancarlo Stanton was on third with 1 out, and Urshela hit a fly ball to medium deep center field. And of course, from my first, I'll be home by myself, and I will yell tag. Don't play halfway, because you go back and you tag. 'Cause if the ball falls, you're going to score anyway. And there he is, dancing off of third. By the time the ball was caught, he was late getting to the bag to tag and could not score. And that's when I said, I can't do this anymore. I just can't. If that's the kind of baseball you're going to play, it's not the kind that I want to watch. So I declared it football season.
Because watching the Giants is so much better?
Well, I can, listen, you got. I can watch the rest of the NFL. I love college football. I love this.
How's Boston College doing?
So far, so good. Although they are playing Missouri tomorrow.
Ooh, okay.
And of course, did you notice what he was wearing over here? what Peter was wearing tomorrow? I noticed first thing I noticed. It should be a good game tomorrow, but evenly matched.
Oh, that's outstanding. Do you know what the capital of Missouri is?
Jefferson City.
It is. Yeah, I know that because I helped AJ study for a geography test last night, where he was supposed to have known all the capitals. This was more about details about some of them, but having not gone over the capitals in a while, it made me realize how much I've forgotten some of the capitals.
Well, I can do that a lot better than helping my son with his math homework because I just can't.
Now my son learns very similarly to me with little tricks. So here are some of the tricks. What's the capital of Mississippi? Well,
Jackson.
It is. So he says Mississippi, hee. And that's how he remembers that it's Jackson.
I love it.
You know he drank soda with St. Paul? What's Minnesota? Minnesota drank soda with St. Paul. Maine. Dad, you're my Maine man. Your birthday's in August. Augusta. Virginia. Cavaliers. Cavaliers are a rich man. Richmond. This is how he remembers them. Another good one was Illinois. Illinois Springfield. So these are little ways that he remembers them, and it was pretty good. My favorite is Wisconsin. Wisconsin's mascot are the
Badgers.
And the Badgers are mad.
Madison. Okay, right.
So these are, but it's great because I'm trying to teach him. And most of them he remembers, but there are the ones that he can't. If Washington was our first president, he'd probably win the Olympics.
Olympia.
Yeah, that's just how he remembers.
This reminds me of the Cheers episode with Albania.
Albania.
That's how I know it's
Albania,
on the Adriatic.
It borders on the Adriatic. Its coast is mostly mountainous, and its chief export is chromium. Yes.
That's how you remember that.
Absolutely.
Isn't that amazing?
I do. So I had a good time with capitals last night. But my personal favorite is Mississippi. 0-0 here.
So next week when we're doing when we're doing the NFA game, you have to let us know how we did on this on this exam.
I will let him know. He texted me from school, which is another phenomenon I can't get used to. In high school, they have a much lower threshold for they let the kids use their cell phones. So he's like, "Dad, I think I got 2 wrong on my test. I did great." And I'm sitting there going, "What 2 could you have gotten wrong?" We got I think he probably flip-flopped like Alabama and Mississippi or something. So
some of those aren't easy though.
It's funny. I think a lot of people just should take the time and look at a map. I don't think people realize, but then looking at a map, you think, for example, that Alaska is above Hawaii. And they're actually like in vastly different parts of the world.
Well, okay. Now, Sacramento should not be the capital of California. That's absurd.
No, it should not. But should, Albany be the capital of New York?
No.
Should Annapolis be the capital of Maryland?
I didn't even know that. It is.
You thought it was Baltimore,
I thought it was Baltimore.
Yeah, no, it's Annapolis.
That's just
should,
fascinating.
Should Tallahassee be the capital of Florida?
Well, yeah, but but only because of the way Keith Jackson used
Tallahassee.
to say yeah.
Well, we got a minute and a half left here of halftime. We're scoreless at New London High School, 0-0 between the Whalers and the Fitch Falcons. And Peter Wappy, I want to bring you in for a second, just because Mike's utter apathy towards the Yankee Red Sox series fuel for you, or are you a little disappointed in his lack of energy for this thing?
So I share his lack of energy, but if anything energizes me about it is seeing him suffer.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I didn't have any juice for it either. I'm more excited about his despair than I am anything else.
I mean, that was mostly why I watched the Patriots and the Jets, was so I could follow Jets fans on Twitter.
I can't think of any other reason to watch that game.
Well, okay, I will say this though, that when I watched the Giants lose again last week, it did occur to me that even though this Yankee season's been not fun for me anyway, this is their 29th straight winning season. There is something
It's pretty good.
to be said for that.
That's pretty good. That's
I mean,
pretty remarkable.
the Giants, I would love one straight winning season. It's just a different. I mean, this is just it's not the fact that they've lost 60 whatever games. It's how it's been. They just man.
So let's talk about this football game for a second. First question. Is someone going to score?
I think a turnover, yeah, someone will score.
Number 2, are more than one team going to score?
Okay, so let me say, at the end of the first half, New London started to double Shelton, and Pratt's did have time to throw. He didn't make good throws, but he did have time. If Fitch can't figure out something to if Fitch can't make the adjustment off of that, and he's got time to throw, I think they'll hit one down the field.
So I happen to agree with you that there will be big plays in the tank for New London in the second half. However, I also think that it goes against their ingrained DNA, which is to run the football, and they gave up on running the football there in favor of just throwing it. And the more they throw it, the more likely there's going to be a sack, strip sack, interception. So I think both things could come true. I think New London might score off of big plays, but you also could see turnovers that could result in Fitch. I have very little confidence in Fitch driving the length of the field because I don't see a lot of high octane out there. But I do see Fitch's defense being able to create a turnover and give them a short field.
And overtime is 4 plays from the 10, not the 25.
Advantage Fitch, I believe in that.
Yes.
Now, New London will get the ball to start the second half, and I think you're going to see right off the bat, if they keep doubling Shelton and looking to throw the ball in the middle of the field rather than the outs.
Well, I'd like to see him try our play.
High end-over-end kick comes down at the 10-yard line. Heading to the outside is Griffin Hill, and he'll cross the 20 to the 25, and where New London will have its opening possession of the second half.
How about that case? Defensive lineman Sean Porter with the open field tackle. That kid's played well.
So the kicker kicked it to the punter, who returned it until the lineman tackled him in the open field.
I tell you, Porter and Shelton have played very well for Fitch.
Yeah, defensive ends have been on the. So let's see if Fitch adjusts to the double teaming that's been going on of Shelton too. Let's see what Mike Ellis does to adjust to that. 3 receivers. Pratt's under center. Williams is the lone setback for New London, 1st and 10. Hand off to Williams, and not much there. He's dragged down by Shelton after a gain of maybe a yard. And the New London running game does not look very harmonious right now. The handoffs seem to be a little disjointed.
Yeah, and I just think that's just a case of not being as physically strong as the opponent up front, which is why they're going to need to get a little creative, I think.
4 wide receivers in the set now for New London, 2 left, 2 right, and Pratt will operate out of the shotgun. Straight drop, has time, throws it out, and it's tipped dangerously off the hands of Mercado and just out of the reach of the defensive back for the Falcons. And that could have been a pick 6.
Especially when they get tipped like that.
Was that Cabuso that was out there? That could have been a pick 6. So it's going to bring up 3rd and 10 for New London.
So this could be it will be a big field position play for Fitch here.
Yeah, a stop for no loss or a loss would put them in fabulous position. Motion man comes across. Rolling, Pratt's against his body, throws sideline, has a man, and it's incomplete. Looks like he was looking for Bonneau, and is there a flag? I don't believe there is, so no flag, and it'll be 4th down, and New London will have to punt.
It's hard to tell sometimes, Case. the logo in the middle of the field is gold. New London's pants are gold. It's hard to see sometimes if a flag flies.
So Fitch holds on its opening defensive possession, and they'll have Greaves back at his own 35-yard line waiting for the punt from Griffin Hill. Snap is good. Griffin Hill gets off a low end-over-end kick. Greaves runs up and takes it at the 45-yard line. Has a seam up the middle, cuts it to the outside. Flag on the play, and that's going to be a block in the back or a hold, and that's going to put Fitch back about their own 40-yard line. But a nice return by Aiden Greaves, and the Falcons will be in Whaler territory.
You know, subtle play right there, Case, but Greaves' ability to catch that punt and not let it drop probably, I mean, I know there's a flag, but it probably got Fitch 20 more yards.
So, you know, like a fly ball to the outfielder. The outfielder's taught to get behind the ball and catch it running toward the plate to get momentum for a throw. Same thing for a punt returner. Get behind it, catch it running into the ball, which is, by the way, much harder than it sounds. And that's what he does so well. He caught that ball moving forward. He was already 10 yards forward, and that really caught New London off guard. First down, Fitch right at midfield. They try the fullback dive. Not much there for Santora. New London's line doing a nice job holding up. Schneider Sanat in the middle of that, along with Joshua Blanding. 2nd and 8. But this is how Fitch will lull you to sleep, too. That's going to be gut shot, and then they try to pop one outside. Second and 8. 2 receivers wide right for the Falcons. Toss out left to Williams, and great job running to the football. Griffin Hill cleans them up along with Burns. Loss of 2, we'll be back to 3rd and 10.
All right, so, Case, your question as we came back at halftime, is anybody going to score in this game?
Yes.
I vote no.
You've changed your name. The Yankees, by the way, are crushing Evaldi, courtesy of my Uncle Dick down in Maryland, capital Annapolis. He wants to know how to spell Mississippi. Yankees are crushing Evaldi, so you should be happy.
It's football season.
Oh, my goodness. Peter Wappy. Perry rolls right, throws on the run, has his man complete and brought down almost immediately. And they're going to say no, incomplete, defended by Dennett. So Moose Dennett had the coverage outside, and he's all fired up. And he's saying, why are you testing me? I'm the D1 kid.
So, Case, you know, we talk about some things that we saw, and I kind of disappointed with both of those first possessions.
Yeah, it didn't appear like there was much of an adjustment made by either team, right? Standing at his own 40. Punt is off, and it's going to head to the sidelines, and that is a break for New London. They're going to mark it out of bounds at the 27-yard line, 28, and he's still walking. Crosses the 30, 32-yard line. So not a great punt by the Falcons, and New London will have it in good field position at their own 32. Well, you listen, the biggest sporting event of the weekend isn't Yankees Red Sox. It's certainly not Notre Dame, Wisconsin, or anything else. The biggest is the Ryder Cup.
Ryder Cup.
And the U.S. off to a great start so far. And they're not crushing Evaldi. It's 2-0 in the top of the first inning.
The guy I'm rooting for the most in the Ryder Cup case is Finau.
Tony Finau's a good guy.
Seems like one of the. Just seems like I mean, I don't know him, but seems like a very nice guy.
I agree. I like it with without Tiger and Phil and those guys in it. It's a more indicative of. Quarterback keeper by Pratt, breaks a tackle, cuts up the middle of the field. They'll have a first down. Little RPO action, put it in the belly of Josiah Williams, took it out, kept it himself, and that'll be a first down for the Whalers.
Last point on the golf case before we get off that: do not let DeChambeau anywhere near a big putt on Sunday. That's it.
I don't know how you can putt being that muscular anyway.
Just keep him
Man,
somewhere else.
Putting is a game of touch, and he looks like, me putt big, good. Putt long, strong. He's a big guy. 1st and 10. Whalers. Toss to Williams. Has a head of steam. Breaks a tackle.
You sound like
good
me now.
for 5 yards. Has a head of steam is what I was trying to say. Josiah Williams with a nice gain on 1st down. And that's going to put New London in a 2nd and short. Now, 2nd and 5, midfield. Here's your chance to take a pop down the middle of the field.
Some success there running east-west to get north-south.
Akeem Morris, the center for New London, the senior, up to the line, leading the Whaler offensive line here on 2nd and 4. Motion comes across, fakes handoff. Williams up the middle, has a 1st down, crosses the 45-yard line. So a little misdirection as they sent Mercado in motion and hand off to Josiah Williams. Move forward, positive plays. New London, back-to-back 1st downs.
If someone does score, Case, this game could come down to the extra point.
It could. We'll see. And we'll see if a team can get it in the end zone. New London, first time with a drive, multiple 1st downs. There comes Mercado in motion again. This time, quarterback keeper Pratt breaks a tackle, still on his feet. Gain of about 5 on 1st down. So we're seeing Roddy Pratt using his legs rather than throw the football. So this is a different series for New London. They are going back to the ground. Different plays than what we saw in the first half. So clearly the message, New London might have been try to reestablish the line of scrimmage.
And as you said, Case, 2nd and 5. This is, you're on the 42. This is a prime spot to take a shot.
Benoit and Mercado wide left. Perry down the bottom of your screen. Pratt's tossed left to Williams. Williams cuts it back inside, lowers his helmet, and he'll have a 1st down. That's a tough north-south run for Josiah Williams, and they're just moving the chains. That'll be another 1st down for New London.
Mercado, number 6, with a nice block on the edge, too.
Kintrell DeSources into the ball game, and Josiah Williams will get a breather.
Tough on him. Williams rarely comes off the field, so sometimes he does need a breather.
DeSources is a sophomore. Pratt wants to throw. Broken play, keeps it himself. Smart play, gains 4. That was supposed to be a bubble screen to Mercado. Pratt couldn't get a handle on the football, and wisely, rather than throw it, just tucked it and ran straight ahead, and he gained, we'll say, 3.5, but that's a positive play on 1st down.
And Pratt's with a bit of a limp right now as he comes over to the sideline to get the play.
I have a feeling it's going to take a lot more than that to get him off the field.
With Case, I'd be careful of a delay of game here because it took Pratt's a bit of time to get to the sideline. The play looked like it was relayed a little bit slow. It would not shock me here.
And you don't want to get a delay of game on 2nd and 8. You want to call a timeout. See if they get the play off in time. Under center, motion man. Pratt does. Toss right. Nothing there for Mercado. Breaks a tackle, slips it back, and he'll cross the line of scrimmage, maybe a half yard, but making something out of nothing. That Jonathan Mercado, he had the ball 10 yards deep in the backfield.
So, Case, it's 3rd and 8 right now. Those first two downs only got them 2 yards, but it got them two positive yards when those 2 plays could have been, this could be 3rd and 15 right now.
Yeah, and I think they're at a point now where it's 4-down territory. So 3rd and 8, you're looking to try to gain 5 yards, 6 yards here. Score from Stonington High School, I almost shudder to say it. End of the first quarter, 29-0 Stonington.
Bears might be for real,
I think they're better than people might think. 3rd and long. Pratt's in the shotgun. Has Williams. Wants to throw. Pressured. And he is sacked all the way back at the 45-yard line. No chance. First guy to get him was Andre Portillo, all the way back at the 45-yard line, and New London will be forced to punt.
So Portillo, Shelton, and Porter with sacks tonight.
And that was an all-out jailbreak right there. I mean, there was no chance of Roddy Pratt even being able to throw the football. But because of the drive, New London with an opportunity to punt from its own 45. So if Griffin Hill can get off a decent punt here, it could flip the field position, and New London can go play defense as we're still scoreless here towards the end of the third period. And there's a fake, and nothing there. Throws it downfield, has a man, and it's caught. First down, Bonneau. Fake punt, Whalers. What a time to pull out the wrinkle. Bonneau went out in the pattern, and Pedro Perry in on the fake, and there is a first down Whalers and a unexpected, unorthodox first down for New London.
Bonneau caught that?
Bonneau.
Okay.
So New London, who puts a motion man in every time they punt, that time used the motion man as the quarterback, threw the ball to Bonneau, and first down Whalers at the 24-yard line. Now you got to make good on the drive after pulling out your trick. In motion, Mercado. Fake handoff. Pratt rolls. Has a man. Corner. Looking and incomplete. And he was looking for Bonneau, and Bonneau was open, but he was on the other shoulder. And he was defended out there by multiple Falcons, and I think he wanted a pass interference penalty, but it was behind him, so no, good call.
Bonneau did have a step, though.
And who was that? Was that Cabuso? Cabuso was the main guy defending him out there. But you can see New London knows it's got a chance to take some shots here. This is the part of the field where they haven't been down here other than the one big play that got them there. So they got here through the ground game. Let's see if they continue to try to use the ground game.
Cabuso was behind. Get it?
Caboose. Yes. I like that, Mike.
Yeah.
Second down. Handoff. Williams straight up the gut. Lowers his helmet. Gains about 5.5, 6 yards. So big positive play. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Whalers.
40 yards rushing for Williams.
He's earned every one of them, too.
Dannett is the kicker. I don't think he's got the leg strength to get it from here.
Well, considering you told me that he whiffed on a kickoff last week, I'm not sure we'd call him the kicker. Hobbling off the field is offensive lineman Jefferson Bernardo, so we'll have a substitute lineman in the game for New London on this 3rd down. Let's see if that affects the pressure and or play. 3rd and 5, ball around the 20-yard line. Heading down under 2 minutes remaining here in the 3rd period, no score. Pratt wants to throw, pressured, evades the pressure, steps up, on his feet, cuts it inside, first down. Roddy Pratt's inside the 10-yard line. Big play by the quarterback. The senior gets New London 1st and goal from the 9.
Boy, that is all Roddy Pratt's right there, Case, because he looked up and saw one giant white jersey coming at him.
He evaded the first bit of pressure to the outside, and then wisely went straight forward and broke a tackle. And the kid's tough. Got him. They had a nose for the first down marker. It's 1st and goal New London now. Ball's at the 9-yard line. Williams is the lone setback. Pratt's under center. Dive to Williams, and nothing there that time. Center of the Falcons line. Stout, to say the least. Shelton in the mix. Feel like we've called his name an awful lot tonight.
Hey, can I tell you how much I hated that play?
How much did you hate that play, Mike?
Well, considering it has got you 0 all night. ...
I would like that play if on this play they take it out of his stomach and there's someone running in the middle of the field.
Fair point.
but I haven't seen that yet. So I'll be okay with it if they do that, but I just have not seen them. Look at the middle of the field, Mike. Look everything on the other side of the official.
Yes.
2nd and 9, 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. Jet sweep, and nothing there. Loss of yards that time for Mercado. Portillo knocks him down all the way back at the 15. That's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. The Whalers are in the red zone, but they just went backwards. No score at Canamela Field. Fourth quarter action on the other side. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
At The Day, our journalists are in your community, talking with business owners, attending town meetings, analyzing data, talking to government leaders, reporting on the issues that matter most to you. Since 1881, we have been serving our community and will continue to do so 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Never miss a day of news. Enjoy convenient home delivery right to your doorstep, 7 days a week. Subscribe at theday.com/membership.
Game Day is a production of The Day Publishing Company. If you'd like to support Game Day and help us continue to bring you the best in Connecticut high school sports, please consider purchasing a print or digital subscription to The Day at theday.com/subscribe. Game Day is brought to you by Waterford Dental Health. At Waterford Dental Health, we provide solutions to all your dental needs. 177 Boston Post Road at waterforddentalhealth.com. Casey O'Neill along with Mike DeMoro. Live at Canamela Field, we're scoreless heading into the fourth quarter between the New London High School Whalers and the Fitch Falcons. New London knocking on the door, though they just went backwards on second down, so it's going to be 3rd and goal. Ball looks to be marked at about the 12-yard line. The fake punt that New London had earlier sustaining this drive, and this is the best they have been since an early foray into the red zone in the first period. So 2 plays here, Mike, to score a touchdown. The question is, will Roddy Pratts have time for his receivers to get open? Because his receivers can beat the Fitch corners. He just hasn't had any time to throw the ball.
So, Case, if you get this to about the 6, right? It's 4th and goal at the 6. Do you try a field goal?
No, you go for it, because if you don't get it, you got them backed up inside on the 5-yard line. But I don't think they have a kicker who I would even try a field goal. I wouldn't try it. Pratts from the shotgun, wants to throw, corner route, looking for Bonneau, and it's incomplete, but there's going to be a flag. Bonneau was open, flag's going to be on Cabuso, and he and Bonneau have been battling all night, and they're going to get Cabuso on a pass interference penalty, and that will make it a 1st and goal for New London, give them 4 shots from the 5-yard line.
Okay, down on the sideline last week, I stood next to Bonneau. I'd make him about 6'2", 6'3", so that's a really good call.
Yeah, they have the corners of New London, you don't see 6-foot-tall corners in high school football very often at this level. And they're both quick, athletic, strong, and underrated. They're both smart football players. Moose Dinette and Herbie Bonneau are football players. They know what they're doing out there, and it shows you. I can't wait to see them face teams that like to throw the ball, because I think they're going to be locked down, and it's going to be very interesting. But it'll be 1st and goal for New London. Ball is going to be moved into the 6-yard line.
Yeah, and they're still, given the way the running game has struggled, they're still a considerable ways away here.
4 downs to get 6 yards.
I might throw that fade again.
Why is it 3rd and 6 from the 6? It was a pass interference penalty. It shouldn't be. Shouldn't that be an automatic? Or is it half the distance? It's not an automatic 1st down? I don't understand high school rules if that's not an automatic 1st down. Toss to Williams. Has a hole. Cuts it outside. Spin move. Reaches for the end zone. And he's going to be just shy right at the goal line. Great individual effort from Josiah Williams. So to be clear, on 3rd and goal from the 12, you can have pass interference. It's half the distance to the goal, and it's not an automatic 1st down.
You know what, Case? I was unaware of that. Apparently, that must be a federation rule.
Message to defenders.
And if that doesn't tell a defender,
tackle the guy.
That is completely counterintuitive right there.
Tackle the guy, because they gained 3 yards and got the down back. So 4th and goal New London on the goal line, half-yard line. Pratt hands it off. Williams, touchdown, Whalers. Josiah Williams with the first points of the game. 6-0 New London.
That was the biggest hole he had all night.
Yes, it was not even close. He walked into the end zone untouched, and the Whalers have broken the seal, if you will, first points of the game. So your question of will someone score is yes, and it's New London with 10:56 remaining in the ball game. 6-0 Whalers, and extra point will now be attempted.
In case I may see the officials after the game, and I will ask them that.
Leo Griffin-Hill will kick the extra point for New London. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it is good. And I have changed my mind. If faced with the same point later, I would say yes, kick the field goal, because Griffin-Hill can kick it 30 yards straight ahead.
Okay, so when Peter and I were doing the video with Moose the other day, we were talking about his kicking and how he has a little hop at the end of when he kicks, and I was telling him who I was trying to explain to him who Mark Mosley was. Straight ahead kicker,
Washington
3 steps back.
Football team.
Yes, walk to the ball slowly, and then boom, and he couldn't. Blew his mind.
Now, I have a question, and I mean this sincerely. I'm not trying to ruffle feathers, but this is for both of you. Mark Mosley did not play for the Washington football team. He played for the Washington team whose nickname has no longer exists. When you're referring to something historical, should you name the mascot of the team since that's who he played for, or do you just say the Washington football team because you assume people are going to know what you meant? I mean, if I'm talking about the Brooklyn Dodgers, I have to say it's the Brooklyn Dodgers, or people might think I'm talking about LA, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think people can assume I'm talking about the Washington football team, but when he played for them, they weren't the Washington football team. So.
Good questions all.
It's not as hard for, Spencer Lockwood holds the record at Killingley High School. That's easier. I don't have to even go down that road. And I certainly don't have to say that I didn't say it and then say it.
All right, let's see if Dinette can get into this one. No, That's what he does.
High, and it's fielded very nicely at the 45-yard line. That took a nice high hop, and it was fielded by Greaves, the sure-handed Aiden Greaves. And Fitch will have good field position. I'm curious why Dinette kicks off and not Griffin-Hill. Wouldn't what Griffin-Hill does, just doing that, be better than what Dinette does?
So New London did that a couple of times last week. It did not hurt them. It has not hurt them so far tonight. It is going to hurt them. Okay, so,
Yeah,
they just gave Fitch 30 yards here.
Yeah, you can't have that long term. So, 1st and 10 Falcons at the 47-yard line. Toss left to Williams. Williams cuts it outside, now cuts it back inside. Nice gain on first down of about 8 yards for Thomas Williams, the senior back for the Falcons, gets them well into New London territory, and will give it, more importantly, a 2nd and short.
So now that Fitch has this sense of urgency, we're going to see who they think they are now, and that is run behind the left side of your line.
And I got to see what the adjustment might be for New London if they overload that side of the line. I mean, I would, but Fitch is doing a nice job sending receivers bottom left so that they can keep that extra defender away. It's a very good matchup between two good coaches. Handoff up the gut. Fullback will have the first down. That's Santora. And he's brought down quickly by sophomore Kyle Parks. But the chains will move, and the Falcons will have a first down at the New London 42-yard line.
Hey, Case, I know it was a first down, but Parks really smashed him there.
Yeah, Kyle Parks.
He played well last week, just a sophomore.
Yeah, well, you say that an awful lot. If you go through these guys, there's a lot of young kids on the field, both sides of the ball. First down, Falcons. Toss. Outright it goes to Maddox, and Malachi Maddox will gain 2 He's brought down on the edge. There's Parks again flying to the football. Maddox that time, I think, was a little surprised at how quickly Parks closed. He was waiting to try to cut it back inside, and Parks met him at the cut point, never let it happen. Gain of 3, maybe 4, 9 minutes and counting here in the fourth period. New London on top 7-0. Either way, I think we've learned that the identity of New London is going to be defense. Let's find out as they have to try to defend it once again here at the end of a ball game.
Just like the old days, case Gil Vargas.
Run it and play defense. Second down. Fullback dive to Santora, and it's not there. Great job. Interior of the New London line. Aiden Perry was the first guy to get a hold of him. Perry and Schneider Sanat.
You know, Case, that's where when Jack Cochran won all of his games at Bloomfield and New Britain, he always said the same thing. You put your 11 best athletes on defense.
Yep. Because if you can dominate on the defensive end, everything else falls into place.
And that's what he learned here.
Yes. 3rd and 6. 8 minutes remaining. In motion, Williams. There's the bread and butter play. Toss left. First down, Williams. And he'll cross the 25-yard line to the 24. Head of steam, and Thomas Williams is tough to bring down. They set the edge on Parks, and Parks got forced to the outside. Williams cut it up inside of him, and once he gets a good 2 or 3 yards of momentum going forward, he's a tough kid to bring down.
He has 51 yards rushing. Case, they've already missed a field goal. Do they go for 2 if they get 6?
I don't think so, but I thought the same thing. There's a fullback dive, big hole for Santora, straight up the middle. It's going to be 8 yards on first down, and Falcons starting to move the football with the big guys. New London might be getting a little bit pushed around here. Smaller line of New London, a little bit younger, a little less experienced. Fitch is controlling the line of scrimmage at the moment.
And keep in mind, Case, where that kickoff went.
In motion, Williams, and there's a penalty flag down. I think we're going to have a legal procedure against the Falcons. And that'll back them up 5.
Illegal procedure penalty against Fitch. A 5-yard penalty.
So that'll back up Fitch 5.
Second down and 7.
And this is a crucial down right here. This is like the 2-1 count in baseball. The difference in what happens here completely changes the tone. 2nd and 7. Is it 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 1? And, whatever it is dictates what Fitch can do. And we're going to get a timeout from New London because they want to talk it over. And this timeout is brought to you by CRAC, bringing the light to mental health through opening doors and opening minds. You can learn more at CRACCT.com. That's SERACCT.com.
Okay, to your point, I think Fitch's version of a four-seamer here is run left. Here's my best pitch.
Yeah, it's 2nd and 7. They have not run toss left for like less than 3 yards. Do you want 3rd and 4? And if you do, you're saying I'm going to go for it 2 times anyway. So the question I have is, what does New London do to combat that? The problem with overplaying it is that that's when the Falcons do trap right, and if you're New London, you still have the 7-0 lead. So I think Johnny Burns and his coaching staff have called an excellent game defensively. They've had a little bend, not break to them. This is going to be a chance for them to step up. And I think Mike Ellis has been very conservative. Let's see if he changes things up.
Those are my guys from Jennings right there.
2nd and 7. Ball at the 23-yard line. Perry under center. In motion, Williams. Fakes the handoff. Option play. breaks a tackle, still on his feet, trying to get to the outside, cuts it inside, back outside. Oh, look at him move. Still on his feet. Touchdown! How did Benjamin Perry stay on his feet? A stunned Whaler defense, and the Falcons are within a point.
Dead to rights, Case. Dead to rights. They lose this game, they'll be seeing that one in their. They'll be seeing that one in their sleep.
They had Perry tackled for a loss. They had him tackled in the backfield. They had him behind the line of scrimmage. And Dannett can't figure out how he didn't make the tackle. He cut it back inside, and we said Perry was slippery. Well, he slipped his way all the way into the end zone that time, and they're a point away from tying this up.
Well, we called him shifty earlier in the game. Case, that's the personification of it right there.
And you had asked if they were going to go for two. Well, guess what? With 6.5 minutes left, the Falcons are going for two. There goes Williams in motion. Same play, and this time he's not getting out of the grasp. Wrapping him up quickly was Kintrell DeSources, and that is a big-time stop for the New London defense, 7-6 Whalers.
DeSources, we haven't called his name all night. Biggest play of the game right there. Suddenly, that makes the touchdown run a duller ache right there, Case.
Well,
wow.
I mean, at 1 point, it's huge. The Falcon offense did exactly what it needed to do, but that was almost the exact same play. Perry was trying to make it happen with his feet, and that time DeSources said, no, we're not going to have any messing around. The first guy can't try to tackle him jersey style. Every time you got him by his jersey, he escapes. You got to get him low, waist down, and you got to bring him to the ground. Too many times that first tackler has not been able to bring Perry down, and he is, whether you want to say shifty, slippery, or just plain tough, 7-6 New London, and they survived the 2-point conversion.
And Case, DeSources again, just a sophomore. I mean, you said this. You said this before. We should say it again. They're going to be good here, and is it going to be this year? Not sure, but sooner or later, these sophomores are going to become seniors.
Yeah, there was an old adage, they're young and bad, but maybe someday they'll be old and bad. New London's young and good. What they don't have yet is the development that comes size and strength. They're going to get stronger and bigger. I think that there's a lot of talent here on this New London team. I'm excited for the future of Whaler football. Look at the numbers on the sidelines. A lot of different kids. This is going to be a matchup that we're going to be looking for years to come. Onside kick. Ball is loose and handled nicely at the 40-yard line. The Whalers got a break. It scooted down, stayed low, and the Whalers were able to fall on it.
So not kicking that ball deep, unless New London turns it over, is going to give Fitch the long field here. I don't really understand that with 6.5 minutes left.
I agree, and it's not like New London has been driving with the football. I mean, I think Fitch figured it needs the time. I don't think Fitch thinks it can get score in less than 5 minutes. So here's what the Whalers, can they get a couple of first downs and put some pressure on the Falcons? 1st and 10 Whalers. Pratt's from the shotgun. In motion, Mercado. Pratt fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, and will gain maybe 2.5 yards on first down, but a forward play will keep the clock running and will be under 6 minutes by the time the Whalers step up for second down.
Fitch does have all three of its timeouts.
They're going to say he got a yard, so 2nd and 9. Be interesting to see if New London takes shots or gets ultra conservative, because they can take this thing down under 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes remaining, punt it away, and make Fitch go the length of the field, or will they take a shot and try to keep the drive going and move the chains? 2nd and 9. Williams stands behind Pratt's. Motion man. Jet sweep. Flags on the play. Nothing there. Mercado cuts it back inside. Gain of 1. But we're going to get multiple flags. I think that's going to go against New London and back them up even further. Let's see what the officials say. Officials are talking. I want to see what Coach Mike Ellis wants to do. Question is it a hold against New London? It's an illegal, looks like an illegal shift, and it was declined, or illegal motion, it was declined. And it's going to bring up 3rd and 8. So 5:40. The big thing that did is it stopped the clock. Now the clock's going to move with 5:40. So New London can run this play at about 5 minutes and change. And like I said, Fitch could get the ball back with 4.5 minutes remaining. So on 3rd down, I don't think New London's going to put it in the air. I think they're going to keep the clock moving.
Now with the way Fitch has been able to rush the passer tonight, too many bad things can happen.
I think we're going to get movement from New London. Yeah, illegal procedure. And it's funny, I was just about to say, if I was New London, I'd do a hard count because Fitch was like chomping at the bit. I think you might have been able to draw Fitch, but instead New London moved. That's going to make 3rd and 14, and I think almost assuredly New London will now. The question is, 5 minutes and 10 seconds, clock running, 3rd and 14. Fitch might not get the ball back till under 4 minutes remaining. Will they take a timeout here? If they hold
with the timeouts, it's probably enough time.
Yeah, I don't know the way their offense is really not geared for that. It'll depend on where they get the football. 3rd and long for New London. Prats is going to throw. Throws over the middle, and it had his man open, had Griffin Hill incomplete. We've said the middle of the field was open, defended nicely by Kilgore, and New London will have to punt.
It was intended for Leo Griffin Hill.
So big punt right here for New London. The last time they faked it, they won't do that this time. He was open. We knew the middle of the field would be open, and that wasn't really Pratt. Pratt just didn't have any time to throw the football. He couldn't step into it. So Greaves is back at his own 25. Griffin Hill stands at his own 30. A big punt coming for the New London senior. Snap is good. Kick is up. He kicks it away from Greaves, and it takes a Whaler bounce and spins sideways at the 24-yard line, 23-yard line. So good result for New London. And Fitch now, here's your scenario. 4.5 minutes remaining. You got all your timeouts, and you need to go 75 yards.
Think about what a good punt that was. Because Greaves had been good all night at catching the ball in the air, and Griffin Hill did not let him do it.
I thought that was even going to take a better bounce than it took. It kind of spun sideways. I thought he was going to get the big roll. But as it is, 75 yards for the Falcons in 4.5 minutes, trailing by a point. What is the range of Cabuso as the kicker? Straight up the middle, nothing there. Maybe 2 on 1st down. And Fitch is going to have to go. Santoro on the carry that time. And Fitch, I know they don't feel a lot of, for this offense, 4 minutes is not a lot of time.
No case. And again, we're huddling up. It's just going to take way too long.
Tick, 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 right? Pitch wide. Maddox cuts it inside, and a nice job running to the football for New London. First one there was Josiah Williams. Also in on the tackle was Schneider Sanat, and it's going to be a gain of about 5, though. It's going to bring up 3rd and short. It'll be 3rd and 2.
But I listen, if you're Johnny Burns, no, you don't want to see him get a 1st down here, but you're okay with a 6-yard gain,
100%.
Especially, again, huddling up again. Again, I know you've got all 3 of your timeouts, but you just don't move the ball that quickly.
This is way too slow for Fitch. Give him 6. You're 100% right. Just don't let him pop a big play to the outside. Keep everything in the middle. In motion, Williams. There's the toss to Williams. And a great job funneling him back inside. He'll have the 1st down. Still on his feet. Crosses the 45-yard line. That's a great individual effort from Thomas Williams. But New London did exactly the right thing. They funneled him back inside, and Fitch is going to huddle up again. The clock's going to run, and it's going to be under 3 minutes when they get to the football.
I think you saw on that play, if Fitch has a big play in it, it's going to be Thomas Williams.
Does Fitch have the courage to do a play action and take a shot with the corners of New London? 1st down. There it is. Perry throws deep down the sideline, and it's incomplete as he overthrows Greaves, and he was covered very well. Nothing there.
Low percentage.
That was it was a low percentage, and Bonneau rather, was playing deep safety on that side as well.
Bonneau's played quite a game tonight.
Yes, he has. Bonneau and Dennett right now are playing deep safeties for New London. Their job is to not let anything get on the other side of them. 2nd and 10, 2:43 remaining. Perry has played a great game at quarterback. Toss. Maddox cuts it inside, and a big hit. And finally brought down at the 45-yard line. Maddox, tough to bring down. Whalers flew to the ball, made a big pop. Griffin Hill and a host of Whalers, but not until a big gain by Malachi Maddox brings the ball down to the 45.
Josiah Williams again with an open field tackle. He saved something there.
He is beat up. He's coming off in favor of Treviant Mitchell. And on 3rd down, the Falcons will take the first and get to the 40-yard line. And the clock is going to stop here to move the chains. But it's going to be under 2 minutes by the time they get up to the football. And 40 yards is still a long way to go.
Now, I will say this in their defense, though. They do have 3 timeouts. So the clock is a factor. I don't know that it's as big of a one right now because they can't stop it 3 times.
They can, but the problem is going the 40 yards. In motion, Williams. There goes that toss left. Oh, what a block on the outside. That's going to be a flag. It's a trick play and a pass, and we're going to have multiple flags. So but here's it's all going to come back, and here's why. You're going to get a defenseless crackback block on Kyle Parks. Kyle Parks was the victim. Now, Kyle Parks had Williams in the backfield, and he got the illegal defenseless block made against him. And then on the far end, you're going to get pass interference against New London. So the whole thing's going to go for naught.
They're going to get Shelton on the block in the back and the backfield.
So there's the defenseless crackback block against the defenseless player, and then you're going to get the pass interference against New London. The whole thing offsets, 1st down all over again. All that happened was Fitch lost some time. So there's the razzle-dazzle play that we haven't seen yet. It looked like it was going to be the traditional toss to Williams, but he threw, and it worked out because New London's secondary was fooled. But Shelton absolutely laid out Kyle Parks, who had read the toss, gotten inside, and was in position to make the tackle. So offsetting penalties, 1:38 remaining. 1st and 10, Fitch, ball at the 41-yard line. There goes Williams. There's the toss left. Parks tries to get him to the outside, brings him back inside. Still on his feet. There he is. 1st down and more. Big play by Williams. Crosses the 30. And Thomas Williams is trying to do this on his own for the Falcons.
Just like the Perry touchdown play, the 2nd effort, 3rd effort there. Okay, tremendous. And almost another block in the back, by the way.
New London has no one to blame but itself for its inability to tackle right now. They have done a great job. 127, and now the ball is at the 25-yard line. What is the range of Cabuso on a field goal? Handoff up the gut. Good hole on 1st down for Santora. Gain of about 7. I think he's going to get down across to the 20-yard line, and the Falcons will call their first timeout.
Thomas Williams up to 79 yards rushing now.
We have a timeout on the field, and we should tell you that this timeout is brought to you by CRAC, bringing the light to mental health through opening doors and opening minds. CRAC.com. That's SERACCT.com. Wow. So,
what a good ending.
It's funny because week 1, you guys did not have a great game, Killingly and Waterford. At least they put up a lot of points, but it wasn't a very close game. Last week we got to see the coming out of Ledyard a little bit. So I think good game, but this has been the first getting kind of the feel for it. This is the first competitive game that we've had.
Okay, so we should mention next Friday at 6:30 NFA and number 1 Darien.
And let's hope they're still number one next week, because it's not like they have an easy game this weekend.
They play Newtown tonight in the rematch of the 2019 championship game.
120. Now, the field goal is really the thing I'm most fascinated by. It's a tough thing to kick, with the pressure and all that, but I'd say, maybe 30 yards is a fair...
Well, in case we were down on the field before the game, Mike Ellis was actually holding for his kickers while they were kicking. I didn't see a lot of range. I think they're extra point guys.
Well, it's 2nd and 5. Ball is right at the 20-yard line. 1:20 left in the game. Perry to throw. Has a man in the flat. Open. First down and more. Heading to the goal line. Touchdown! Falcons! Unbelievable! Benjamin Perry finds Malachi Maddox, and the Falcons take the lead with 1:13, stunning the Whalers.
Okay, so that was his first completion of the night. Timing is everything.
What a play and an unbelievable effort again by Malachi Maddox. Went down to get the football, broke a tackle, found the end zone. Fitch will go for 2. Perry rolls, has time, throws, and tipped incomplete. Nicely defended by Quintrell de Sources. So 1:13. Can the Whalers get a return? And can they do something miraculous with 1:13 remaining?
So I do want to mention what a great route Maddox ran there. Just finding a little soft spot, and then he did the rest.
Yeah, 100%. You nailed it. He found the little spot in the zone that was available to him. I can't express enough how good the catch was, because the catch was down at his knees. That's such an easy ball to drop or to go down on a knee to get, because you're going to be facing a defensive guy on your back. And as it turns out, there wasn't anyone there, but he had no way of knowing that. It was a great play.
So, guys, think about what Fitch has done here. Shut out all night, get the ball back with 10 minutes left, drive the field twice, with us second-guessing them all the way about hurry up.
Yeah.
And that's really, really impressive.
If this score holds up, the narrative is for the Falcons to be what they want to be and think they are, this was what they needed to do. And for the Whalers to become what they think they should be, they can't allow that to happen.
Perfect. Yeah. I do think that Fitch is going to have to figure out how to move the ball by the air if they want to be what they think they can be. I mean, that's not exactly that doesn't help.
Kick out of bounds will give the Whalers good field position with 1:13. Ball will be at the 35-yard line.
New London with two timeouts, and they have shown the ability to get the ball downfield. Bonneau probably has a height advantage on the outside.
And senior quarterback, senior receivers, senior running back, as far as huddling, going through no huddle, speeding it up, they should be able to do it.
And this is where the pass rush really Fitch has been able to get a consistent one all night. Now this one, they really need it.
Pratt's to throw, quick out, and he overthrows Griffin Hill badly. That was probably the worst throw of the night by Roddy Pratt.
And in that case, it's just as well nobody caught it, because you're not going to get anything anyway.
Now, and we talked all night about the youth of New London and the future being so bright. Well, they're going to look at games like this and say, if we want to be legit, we got to close games out. We got to learn to close. Last week they made the defensive stand. This week they gave up the 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
But Mike Ellis is going to tell you this is what we're supposed to do if we're supposed to be the heavyweights. Second down. Pratt's pressured, throws, man open, dancing and cutting it and getting out of bounds is Mercado. A lot of stuff for a gain of maybe 4 yards, but a heads-up play by Jonathan Mercado to get out of bounds.
And there they were again, Porter and Shelton all over. Pratt's really making him get rid of the ball a lot faster than I think he wanted to. Okay, so I don't think we have a clear-cut choice here for the Waterford Dental Health player of the game.
No, I have one guy I have in mind, but we're going to have to huddle it up, and you're going to have to wait and see. Not you, but everyone else. And it might still emerge. Third down, Whalers jump. They got away with it in the flat. Thrown, and great open field tackle made outside by Ambrose. And that's going to force New London to take a timeout as they're going to have a fourth down with 54 seconds remaining.
And Pratt just doesn't have enough time to get the ball down the field. It's almost like they have to max protect right now. Okay, it's just to give him time, which doesn't allow for many routes.
And you're absolutely right about the player of the game. I mean, you could certainly name 3 defensive guys for Fitch. You could name 3 offensive guys for Fitch. I think it's an interesting conversation and one that we will have. It is.
Well, knowing Mike Ellis, the kid will have played a darn good game.
Well, Fitch finally played with some pizzazz, and I'm going to make sure I ask him about that.
That should be your first question.
Coach, at what point did you guys find the pizzazz that was necessary to overcome that deficit?
Now, we should point out, I don't know that there is a coach that we deal with on game day that we like more than Mike Ellis.
Not even close. I love Mike Ellis.
Yes.
And I am not making fun of him because I find that to be one of the most endearing videos I've ever seen. I love Mike Ellis's approach to his kids. Fourth down. A handoff to Williams, and it's stoned by the Falcons, and that is how the Whalers are going to end up dropping this game unless something unforeseen happens. Josiah Williams had no chance to go anywhere. I think they thought they were going to get Fitch in a bull all-out pass rush, but Josiah Williams had nowhere to go. So with only one timeout, Fitch should simply be able to kneel on the football and run the clock out for this one. Bit of an anticlimactic last play, though.
It's almost like they were trying to catch him in a particular defense, maybe.
I think they were. I think they were trying to catch him, trying to all-out rush and put the pressure on and try to pop it. It just didn't happen. And taking a knee is Benjamin Perry. New London will use its final timeout. And then after this, it'll be 2 more knees, and this game will end. And Fitch will move to 2-0. New London will move to 1-1. Fitch will have won 13-0 and 12-7, or 13-6 rather, and 12-7.
13-7 and 12-7.
They're consistent. And New London will have won their game 13-6 and lost 12-7.
Yes.
Again, it's pretty consistent. Both teams, I think. I mean, New London clearly needs to shore up its offensive line play because it's got the skill position players to be dangerous. But Pratt just needs the time for the football. I think defensively, New London's going to cause problems for a lot of people. Do we know who these teams play next week?
New London's, I believe, playing Griswold Wheeler. It escapes me who Fitch has.
Actually,
I was looking at that.
Next week, I can tell you who Fitch has. Both of these teams have bounce-back wins next week because Fitch plays Bacon Academy and New London plays Griswold. So they would be looking for bounce-back wins against 2 of the weaker teams in the ACC. So, a favorable scheduling matchup for both teams. Fitch will be looking to sort of get right against Griswold, and New London will be looking to get right against Griswold, and Fitch will be looking to go to 3-0 against Bacon Academy.
Case, we will have an answer on the air next week about that pass interference in the end zone. Because that's annoying me now.
I agree. We're gonna have to talk to Kevin Moreland about it. And a knee taken by Perry will take us to the double zeros on the clock, and the final score: Fitch 12, New London 7. Here at Canamela Field. We will have an interview with Fitch head coach Mike Ellis, as well as the Waterford Dental Health Player of the Game. Look for social media, and those will be up later on. Of course, full highlights and full availability of tonight's game will also be available. So, Mike, thank you very much. It was an entertaining game, if nothing else, and between the two teams trying to figure out exactly who they are in the ECC, but at the end of the night, Fitch found a way to win.
Case, this may be it for you and I this year. We expect the sports doctor back soon, and I enjoyed it.
I did as well. For Peter Wappy and the guys, I'm Mike Demara. I am Casey O'Neill. Good night, everybody.